I said before, I've heard... Just make sure the game's not too loud. I've heard only good things about these two games, especially the second game. So, I'm excited. Alright, I'm gonna do like I usually do with Ace Attorney games. I'm gonna turn off my camera so I can kind of just like sit here and talk without resting bitch face. So, I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah. We're so back. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. So, from what I know, these games take place right after the original trilogy. So, like, right after Trials and Tribulation. So, to make sure what the defendant is found guilty... Oh, shit, my fault. That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. I didn't miss that. I missed that, bro. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. I always have been, always will be. Alright, bitch. Oh my god. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. Miles! He's finally back, man. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door's unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? Oh, I kind of like this, bro. What the? Like a free roam, too. What's the meaning of this? Freeze! It's the cops! It's definitely not the cops. Identify yourself. Shut up. Alright. Got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Damn! Why? What? Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. It sounds like he's dealt with something like this before. Oh, so he just backs away? Got it. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases in some very frantic and busy days. Bro just got back. It's like 3 a.m., dog. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. This is cool. Gumshoe! Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. Fucking missed Gumshoe, bro. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct. And the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say. The culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Oh, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. Not about the murder, just the mud. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that piqued my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Is it really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office? I get the naggy feeling that is something important to keep in mind. Is this like the court records or something? Got my prosecutor's badge and the victim in this case. I mean, you can't really say if it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? Something that you don't got, Gumshoe? By finding the connection between two pieces of information, connecting them, new information is born. This is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I'll recall the information we've gathered with, yeah, and then I connect them together with, yep. Okay. Huh. For successfully making a what? Without what? Without fucking up? Without using story mode. Oh my god, I'm so good, bro. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yeah, well, when you follow leads to the conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Oh, you got her, Nameless? W. Good shit, buddy. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply use A when I'm next to it. If you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use Y, okay? Okay. I'll give you great precise evidence as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. So I can talk to Gumshoe by pressing Y. Oh! Okay. Okay. Oh, he follows me? Let's go! Free roam Ace Attorney! What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective? I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. Oh, it's your trophy, the Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. It's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Nah, not really. You want like a story game, a multiplayer game? As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. That's so slick, sir. I'll have to try saying that sometime. Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. This, yet another batch of fresh flowers? The ones that came with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy. Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns? Is that Wendy Oldbag, bro? Is that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that stalks? That's enough, detective. You need not to remind me further. Steel Samurai? Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared anyhow. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but... Hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo is the Steel Samurai. Its goal is to defeat the evil magistrate, the show geared toward kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai. Along with the deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show gives it presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. So tiny that it looks newer than when I first bought it. Yeah, that thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, detective. My job is to protect your office, sir. And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit, the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. Ah, watch out for the teacup fragment there, sir. That killer's going to pay. This tea set. You're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. What? Now I feel like the killer's wasting one of my monthly paychecks. Yeah. Edgeworth's a little kid at heart. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Ooh. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. That's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinky-dink. Bro really said coinky-dink. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Oh my god, he did get shot in the dick. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? Can't see a clear connection between these two pieces of information. Okay. Ah. That's kind of cool. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to a recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. Well, what have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir, this guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know how to keep track of it all. All right, if you say so. I log any and all evidence I find in my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have to open... Okay, so it's just like court records. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profile. Okay, it's literally just court records. You gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. Got it. To think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place. This feels so fluent, too. Looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. Was that it for the gun? Guess so. Me prosecutor's badge, bro. This badge design is said to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict protectors of the law. And executors of sentences, much like harsh winter frost and blazing summer days. To wear it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but I have no interest in doing so. What do you mean I have no interest in doing so? Wait, what? Does he not want to be a prosecutor anymore? Each prosecutor's badge is engraved with a number of its owner on the back. Numbers. As if we're not human on the inside like everybody else. We saw the guy shoot the thing in the wall. That's true. So there's another gun. The victim's badge probably fell out of his pocket during the struggle. We'll always take extra care to make sure mine doesn't fall out of my pocket, sir. Oh? I always have it down at the bottom of one of my super deep pockets without fail. Is it possible that he has never taken his tattered coat to the cleaners? Let's give the body a once-over. I mean, he gave it to Francisco once. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep. And until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. I don't believe it. I packed those files on those shelves so tight. It's not even. That not even an earthquake could make them fall. But just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation's over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Says something there. G-U-N... I can't read the rest. It really does look like his dick. Your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Signs of a struggle. Tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day, every Saturday, I come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? I guess it's about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to the... Jim! Damn! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? He even has his right hand on his butt and all. That is true. Looks like he's scratching his ass. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Man, what? Sure. Just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Ports... How do you pronounce that? Jackus? Jax? I don't know how to pronounce that. Portsmouth prosecutor. I'm just gonna call him Portsman. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors have all locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. So we're defending Gumshoe then, it looks like. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then, you're Jim's killer. No way, pal, you got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all of the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? He's not gonna shake hands. Pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then, it's your room after all. Thank you, I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there, sir. Man, what? I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. This guy is a little weird. Rather than that gum on the books is supposed to say Gumshoe. Actually, you're probably right. That does kind of look like Gumshoe. And like from right here, it does look like Gumshoe. I know y'all can't really see it, but this guy's a weirdo, bro. I should probably give them some space. Hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on the sofa. That thing looks like a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. Oh, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Like what? I think you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Oh, there you go. Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Phoenix. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my own way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. Bro's doing his best Sholmes cosplay. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. The bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and point why with conviction. When I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Eureka! Eureka! I've heard that before. Eureka! This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. and the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Gorilla, welcome. By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I have kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Oh, that's not suspicious. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. That's not suspicious. So what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. So, what you're telling me is every prosecutor has these secret safes to hide evidence, maybe? Fucking bastards. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That sounds even more suspicious. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Trial evidence used. I won't rest till I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Now this is odd. You found something, sir? What? Fuck I do, gorilla. Offices have safes. It's not weird. But, like, to hide it and prosecutors be, like, the only ones that have it? Kinda sus, bro. This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir? Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? Or money, information, etc. Look at Damon Gant, that motherfucker, Doug. You got it, sir. Couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down. Wiped down well. Each prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know of them. Prints were wiped. As I thought. It appears that logic's the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Okay. I believe I haven't figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe. But just seeing a safe is not suspicious at all. No, I know. I'm just busting your chops, bro. Motive? Theft? Making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. No. I'll chop your buns. Don't chop my buns. Okay, I don't think... Okay, you ever knew there was a safe hidden back here? Well, if detectives knew about them, then they wouldn't be secret now, would they? Are there any other secret hidden things in this room? If there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them. So there's no, like, hidden camera around, right? What if there was? No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything. Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? Mr. Portsman, a word if I may? Jib, I swear I'll find your killer and bring them to justice. You wait and see, I'll be there for the both of us. Now then, you wanted to talk to me about something? No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. Come on, bro. Okay. Wee. How's it coming along? This picture is too important to mess up. I seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all the information, right? What are you babbling about? The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you can look at your... Okay. So I guess I do gotta start piece of shit together. There's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. Sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. It's suspected the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell onto the floor. The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Bro sat in his own blood. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file space. This indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting occurred. Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Yeah, it looks like, why is there blood on his ass? That's what I'm saying. I think he sat in his own blood, bro. It said he was shot through the stomach, but me and Jiro said he got shot through the dick. It's a little too low for the stomach, bro. Yeah, the handprints are probably like this because he was like, his back was to the shelf, and his hands were, like his hands were behind him, grasping the shelf. That would explain it at least. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hands after being shot, yeah. There are prints on the floor, too. Must have been made when he went, wow. Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. I put them all back, just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. If he was shot in the stomach standing up, those probably should be up here. Or at least right here. Oops. No. Okay, it's oh. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blow on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. I haven't saved yet. Guess we're supposed to deduce something. Maybe the bullet hole with the gun. Eureka! Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, be nice if you just admit when you're wrong. That wasn't a mistake. That was me keeping you on your toes, detective. Okay. Possibly the bomb. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found around 2:05. Well, no, because the books were... Wait. So were the books on top of the... bullet hole with the body? Eureka! There was clearly there you go. There was clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. Okay, so we were on the right track, just wrong piece of evidence. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against a shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is that faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels of the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah. You see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. And the rest are down the bottom right. Yeah, FG. Yeah, it definitely says Gumshoe over there. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would somebody kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. I feel like almost every first case we have is it's like it ends with somebody's name being written, bro. It's like, all right, I get it. Gotta write a name every fucking time. It never works. When are these killers gonna realize writing somebody's name doesn't work? As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. We figured out the killer went through your bookshelf twice. Indeed, there are many things the killer did that don't make sense. But to figure out the whys, we need more information. These handprints belong to the victim, right? It makes sense with the body position. Yes, he must have left them. He was trying to support himself after he was shot. However, the final position of the body shows that it was moved. Can you go over this crime scene with a fine-tooth comb one more time? Yeah, it worked with Danganronpa because the victim actually wrote it. But and all these other ones, bro. There must be some. Or, what if Leon actually never killed her, bro? How crazy would that be? There must be some reason as to why the victim's body was moved. But there is no time to ponder that now. Let us continue with our investigation, detective. Roger that, sir. I'm ready to go. This? What is that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of a criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's got to be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? We killed Leon! Investigation complete. Yay! Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose a flaw in his logic with this technique. How do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? I mean, I've never done it on this game, sure. All right, first, I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organ. Okay, it's the same thing. I thought it might have been different. It's the same thing. I need to press. Got it. What if we got to play as Gumshoe, bro? Mr. Portsman Logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like he had to commit the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. It will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling out for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Rebuttal. Well, he wouldn't have to steal his gun because he has his own. Oh, it doesn't say that though. That's cringe. I'll just press.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim? when clearly his name is Buddy Faith. Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jackus and Jim. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it a Jaquez or a Jack? Jax? I don't fucking know. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jackus and Buddy sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys that decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet.
Hold it!
You really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true, okay? Then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no?
Hold it!
Hold it! And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. Can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. Couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. They definitely weren't covered up, buddy.
Objection!
Let's go. Is that not it? Okay, fine. So be it.
Hold it!
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. Looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Yeah, there is a part missing.
Objection!
There it is. Okay. He does the fucking head shake, bruh. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem. I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. You still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? That's impossible. What do you mean that's impossible? What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name were the missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone. There's only half an H. It's on kind of fire, bro. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Man, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. Well, what is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Hear me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Man, what? Did he? Oh. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Why do I sense that you still have something to say? Okay. Well, I was thinking, did you know there was one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl's a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't. Uh-oh. What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. I've called up Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Oh my god, it's Maggie, bro. I completely forgot about her. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie. Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I completely forgot about Maggie, bro. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? Is he really gonna pin this on Maggie, bro? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it. Oh my god. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. What is he doing with the fucking coat, dog? That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime. And for one simple reason. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, Detective Gumshoe was the one who opened the door. And that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? This can open up every office door it is used. Its use is controlled by security staff. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. So he's like an athlete. Got it. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. Got it. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Seems that the only one to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him.
Hold it!
Looks like a tennist. You could have just said a tennis player. I think it's volleyball. I don't know. It's one of the two. It's either tennis or volleyball. Because he was talking about like rallies and shit. I think there's rallies in volleyball. Magic's not here, so I can't ask him. Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Of course. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I say it'd just be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't in the security booth, sir. It wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? Hair prints? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsmouth says, Detective. Can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Now I think about it, didn't she quit being an officer, become a maid in the restaurant? I don't know if maybe she went back. I mean, she is a security guard. It's like overnight security too. I don't know if that was a full-time job for the restaurant though. But what do I know? I don't remember. That was so long ago, bro. We played those games like a year and a half ago.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery, however. Glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking, ask for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? Prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know them prints were wiped. I think it's that, but I'm gonna keep pressing. Also, stop with the jacket. Yeah, I don't know why he keeps doing that, Doug.
Hold it!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts, Miss Bird, from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face, see? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door.
Hold it!
I'm telling you because I just finished game 2 and she says I'm gonna work at a restaurant. And we know she did in the third game. Oh. No, maybe she quit the restaurant business. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? It seems that there's another way to open the door other than with the master key. Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I have you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. I guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would.
Hold it!
My controller! I dropped my controller. Okay. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about. Sir? We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, of course not. That's hogwash. Don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. Poor Gumshoe, bruh.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figure that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and safe were targeted. Damn. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. Huh. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you... What's with the anger face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Then that means... Yeah, I know. I only just told him, too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's coming, the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she said stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. He has no honor? Oh, has he no honor? Nah, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? All right. To be continued. We got a to be continued in the first try, in the first case. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. It's true. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Oh, I found the binder. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Oh my fucking god, bro. Get me out of here, dog. I should have knew. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It's... isn't that the missing O series file, sir? No doubt about it, the bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files. However, the case within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to our high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means that the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? Fucking pain, dog. Come on. I thought we were gone, bro. I thought that guy was gonna be the first prosecutor. Jesus. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know. You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same, me getting trounced by a lawyer. I wonder who that is. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime, to envision myself winning, naturally. I checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Okay, so it tells you when you do. Okay. Basketball. What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsmouth's prized possession, sir. Oh, he's a basketball player? There you go. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. Oh, there you go. Hey, he's a tennis player. Not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in the hallway. What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it up himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? This office. 1203, 1203. Hey, Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsmouth, sir. Of course, he's right next to us. So he's my new neighbor, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas? I won't rest till I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I don't see any signs of forced entry. According to the guard, no signs that lock was picked either, sir. I mean that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. 502. These four numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, those number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Minimalist yet classy door made of top-quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see. So you're saying, sir, that being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. I talked to Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my nose to her with why. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. This sounds like fun. Just once, I'd have loved to play with them. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in at all that well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. Okay. So this is Miles' first time meeting Maggie? That's right, because it was, what, Francisca and then Godot. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor... Man, what? 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. How the fuck is she alive? She fell from a 9th-story floor? I know, and just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? Proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on? Just for a little bit? I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. On second thought, they're actually on the same level. I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. Like talking to another Gumshoe. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security's room reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was just gone. It was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Ah, it's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key. What do you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah. What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key was Portsman. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way. It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. It was around 1:30, I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious. I doubt you can say that you never left your keys at home, Detective. It's called for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. I won't rest. Okay. Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office, and yet you still managed to get lost? Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. That reminds me, Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. Why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because it's something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it. Can't think of any other reason why. Can't think of at least 3. Ugh. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? The door is locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work there, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Aha, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from. He put the basketball net next to your room and told her to open the office with the net next to it. But this is his room. What's he telling him that he moved it? And then he moved it back. Minimalist yet classy door. Okay. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne. I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. You must find, apprehend, and punish the killer according to post haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I'll keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Fucking Payne. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations. But I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice. Stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Oh, can I? Maybe I do this. Keep forgetting I have this. Okay. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. Couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretend to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. There it is. Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Miss Bird unlocked the door, but Master Key was stolen, so she could not lock it up. There you go. Oh, shit. I've had to open Mr. Portsmouth's office up for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions, too. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it, to the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous since I don't have even a single one. Don't say that, Maggie. I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you. Thanks for trying, but I've already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. Damn. Poor Gumshoe. He's trying so hard, but... Okay, so I can't try his door again.
Eureka!
There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsmouth noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? Either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door, but how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is, we need to examine these. The prints on the number plate, they will tell us all we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like 12, for example, such as... Okay, fine. Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How'd you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, that's it. Now that we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. I thought they said the doorknob was squeaky clean, no? Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sorry, I've only found Mr. Portsmouth and Mr. Faith prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Yeah, she was the one that opened the door. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on this doorknob?
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked the door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? You know, she was the one that used the key, but yeah, but then it was stolen, so maybe like the prints were on the key, but they wiped them off. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsmouth? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with his ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsmouth. Someone should teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey! How about a game? That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Oh. Hey, you're right, sir. Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like what we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it is for Mr. Portsman. Poking around this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. Do you know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind the murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on the truth's door. Knock on heaven's door. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. It's all right, bro. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jackus Portman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you could say, if you promise to stay out of our way, you intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years until Phoenix showed up. But there was this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. It really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for is now explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. There's a mountain of evidence pointing you to be the culprit, too. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose I unlock your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do. So we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on. With evidence.
Hold it!
My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is, after all.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I have motive for killing him. And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Alright, I'll hear you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door. I can't present Maggie. Okay.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a second. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. Use your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Oh shit. The music's going, bro.
Take that!
Oh shit. You asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah. Kinda forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? But what? You have quite the imagination. Why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yeah, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Music goes stupid. Ah, yes, no Phoenix in sight. This is Edgeworth's show. Most obvious spin-off ever conceived, too. I'm so glad they did it, bruh. What's up, Hunter? I've been waiting for this game for so long, bruh. I've needed more Ace Attorney content, bruh. What's up? I see you're straight reaping the content. Hell yeah. What's up, Italian? Hell yeah, man. I'm so excited this game finally came out, bruh. And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used the one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room?
Take that!
Take that! What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. Yeah, I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. But at least those new mechanics got into Great Ace Attorney eventually. Which ones? Like the jury ones? Because I've never played the Layton games. But the jury thing was was pretty cool in the Great Ace. I think out of all the games I've played, the two trilogies and the Great Ace, I think I still like the Great Ace a little bit more than both. The Great Ace was just awesome. Also, Edgeworth is a prosecutor, yet in this game you're playing him as a defense, essentially. Yeah, I've recognized that he's taking more of the defensive role in this game. It'd be cool to play straight prosecutor. I feel like that'd be a little too easy, though. I don't know. What's up, Lightspeed? So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure as and innocent as my jacket. I fucking hate this jacket. Investigations 1 is also pretty underrated. Still not as good as the sequel, but I still like it. That's what a lot of people are saying. People are saying that 2 is, like, amazing. But I haven't played them yet, but I'm excited to see. Nothing much, dude. You chilling, man. Enjoying this new game, bro. Well, not new, but you know what I mean. I've been wanting more Ace Attorney content for a while. I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? We're going through your law books from start to finish. Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so...
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
And what about all the evidence?
Objection!
Damn. It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Okay, it was definitely in his office the entire time. Oh, shit.
Objection!
Forgot I had another page of evidence. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How was that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then where were you and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you? Oh, here we go. You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection!
I fucking love this song. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way. This is proof positive that you have Miss Bird open the door for you.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Further, all of the prints on my office's doorknobs have been wiped clean off. I can assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? You know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. Detective Faith found you, possibly because he heard some sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said, when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Uh-oh. He's going crazy. And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. I do find it kind of sad how the most beloved AA games are from the spin-offs, not the main series. Yeah, no, yeah, that's understandable. Like the Great Ace in these two. I mean, I think out of my favorites, I think Dual Destinies and Trials and Tribulations are like two of my favorites from the main game. But yeah, it is kind of sad. Like Justice for All, I was not a big fan of that one either. And as I said earlier, but that's not to say that, I mean, they were all super good. I love this entire series. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I wiped that knob down well. Huh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, for the note, Jim left for me. Do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Horseman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Man, anybody can say that. Farewell, my turnabout at the very least. That's the last one, right? That's the last one with Maya getting kidnapped. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Because I will remember, because literally besides that one, I don't think I remember any other case from that game. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Portsman alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi. Do you really think that it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Dude.
Hold it!
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, so if that's the case, yeah, there was 2 guns at the scene. Does that make the guy that showed up at Mr. Edgeworth when he showed back up, was that somebody else? Give me testimony like a pro. Okay. So you came back to your office at 2.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I begin to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it!
You would have shot Edgeworth on the spot. Possibly, but leaving 2 bodies is a little, it's a little scary. So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit? After I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Just so we're all on the same page, they're doing all like this, like, cross-examining at like 4 a.m., bro. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. It was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you around that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Possible. He actually does have the perfect alibi? What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir. Meanwhile, Phoenix is just out taking a nap, bruh. Is that headband keeping his hair from sticking up even more wildly? Probably. Like a mohawk type thing. Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Oh boy. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast the doubt on his alibi? The intruder I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Could it be Pain? Oh, please. Please let it be Pain, Doug. Get him out of my face. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Well, supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back...
Objection!
Let's go, Mr. Portsman. It seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great! So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office today. Wow. Imagine 2 people going into his office the night he comes back. What do you mean 2? It explains both. Why couldn't they do it like because he was gone for like a month. They could have did it for like in the span of a month. But of course they had to do it at the time he comes back. It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. They were on DVD for those days. They were playing video games. The door was opened by Maggie that night. But, I mean, it wasn't Maggie's first day, was it? I mean, if Maggie's been working that job for a little bit, she could have did it a different night. Now then, return to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else. Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? He must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. I didn't know he was coming back. I like how you're trying to, like, put Mr. Payne into this case, bro. I think Payne's just being paid. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? I mean, it's Payne. Jiro was always on to something. This is just the first theory of many for Jiro and Miles Edgeworth's games. Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another? Visitor, sir? Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen O file, right, sir? There was also... Yeah, I saw that. Talking about the... yeah, I saw that. The janitor. Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shell's getting messed up twice in the two bullets. It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times? Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the... God, this is so slow. The fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if your theory is right. This dumbass jacket, bro. It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is it the person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. I know, someone's gotta take that fucking jacket, bro. Oh shit. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jin came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at the criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't it the time to be having these dead-end discussions? The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. That was found. There's no autopsy report, bro, so we don't really know exactly when he died. It's just when he was found. I don't think it's all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Hold it!
Hold it! Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Of course the autopsy's been taking place yet, but they already did all their stuff. That's why they were able to move the body. So, hurry it up! Mr. Face Killers very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the zero files, right? And that's how we also know that the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was a killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Or maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. Ah, it's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all.
Hold it!
This theme plays for the final testimony, I believe. By the way, all the other games have 2 cross-examination phases. Moderato and Allegro. Spin-off has 3. And Presto. Is this Presto? But according to Mr. Faith's notes... Hold on. I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again that it was in my office the entire time.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? There were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Mr. Sir, it says 3.
Objection!
Yep. Sick. I was gonna say, because I went for the original, because they let you pick between the original and then arranged, so, but I went original. Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phase here is you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. Oh shit! What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe to get tripped up by a simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? His shoulder looks so looks like it's like tucked in. You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Oh, shit. What? Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. Get his ass. Hey, what's this? He had it on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. Why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Is it like security footage? Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. There's a section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG8 incident. Ah, shit. Hold on, give it a second. I have a rebuttal for that objection. Give it a second. Oh, the KG8 incident, bruh. KG8 incident? That's the police case number, sir. Does that mean this video evidence is from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's reported right now. Yeah, I saw the blood on the other side. Ah! That's blood, isn't it? Yes, I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? got it all wrong. No amount of denial could save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video? Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. Though impossible, I'm. Oh wow. What? Bro just ate his gold medal. All right, man. Take it easy there, champ. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. As a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. No, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was not only a burglary and a murder this time. That it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there was a number of suspicious things related to his case, sir. Court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he used is forged, sir. Every single prosecutor's using forged evidence, man. Forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Well, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. He never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up. Although, we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh? Well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. It was Phoenix. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This cart. What is it, sir? Is it a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu haunts Embassy. The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The thief has always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Would this technically be the third time Maggie's been a defendant of sorts? Yes. It was the first trial in one of the games. No. Was it? No. Yeah. I think. All the cases are blending together for me, so. It was the one, no, it wasn't the one where, no, was it the one where Phoenix got knocked out? I think. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back. No, second game tutorial case and third case tutorial case, I think. And then this. So yeah, it's been 3 times. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. Was she the... No, because she was the defendant in the Tigre one, right? Don Tigre? It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. Was that the tutorial? No, that wasn't a tutorial case. So the person who stole the content of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu, organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. But didn't you just come back? What are you talking about 2 days ago?